All right, people, we are going to get started here momentarily. Yeah, we're gonna get started. Just hang on there a second. And that's good. All right, what is up, everybody? This is the negative space. Some people like to misconstrue that, meaning like I'm really negative, but no, it's the synonym to white space, but we call it the negative space. I can be negative sometimes, but not at the expense of just being honest. All right, so I'm honest and constructive, and what we do is I review your designs, specifically UI UX. I look at them, I say what the hell is wrong with this thing, and then I help you try to improve it. Sometimes I'll even get in there in Figma and do some updates, or even the dev console if it's an HTML, CSS, and just make you not suck quite as much. All right, so we have a bunch of people in here. 72 concurrent viewers, 69 concurrent viewers, says it right there. And I am almost 40 and I'm making those jokes. Anyways, I suck. So yeah, what we're going to do is that we already have a bunch of people submitting. The instructions for submitting are in the YouTube description. And then, of course, because, I have a family and I have to feed them, which it's always a pain, I will spam you a little bit at DesignCourse.com. There's also a coupon that you can use. And yeah, UI UX. Guess what? The CSS course, we had a pre-launch about a week ago for 7 days, and it did quite well. I had like 370 people join that. Now, if you click enroll here, you just have to enter your email. Actually, I was going to release it on Black Friday, November 26th, but I might release it sooner than that because I'm making good progress. But if you want to learn UI UX right now, you can do that. You can enroll now. You can pay a small fee here. Actually, this says use code launch to get 25% off. You know what? If you join during this stream, you can use code stream22 to get 30% off, actually. So yeah, you can get, instead of 99, this could be 30% of that, whatever that is. That's 69. Anyway, oh my God, this is terrible. Let's get started with the very first review. Alrighty. Now, this is Ryohaya. Is that how you say your name? Ryohaya. Okay. This is, also check the dark and light mode, please, and if possible, check the other pages. I probably can't check the other pages just because we have a lot of people waiting for reviews already. Okay. Let's check her out. I see a bunch of numbers, and I'm immediately reminded of Halloween because we got this orange stuff here. All right, so dark and light mode. Where do I switch to dark and light mode? I don't see that. So that's kind of a problem because you wanted me to ascertain the dark and light mode, and I don't see anywhere to clearly change it. So yeah, typically you'd have it somewhere maybe on the right side of the upper nav. Okay, so choose a future date. Okay, so one thing, it seems like these panels that you have should be just a smidgen lighter based on the background. So like if I take this thing, we'll see background color. Okay, this I'm just gonna say green. Only reason I'm doing that is I can get access to this little color picker. Don't do this. If you do that, just gouge out your eyeballs and consider a different profession. We're gonna take the color dropper. We're gonna take the background, all right, and then we are going to boost it up just a little bit. I think this right here is better. We have a little bit more of a contrast so we can actually see the panels. Before they were like down here, you could barely see them. I think smidge, like just a little bit up right around there. That hex color code, if you're the person who's watching this, who designed it, 272831. That's what I would use. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a smidgen darker, whatever. Okay. Ooh, I don't like that. What's that about? That's bad contrast, so you want to fix that. What is this drop down here? If you're going to keep that color, that gray, which doesn't work at all. I know styling drop downs can be a pain, but if you do custom drop downs, it would make 1,000 times better and more seamless with your design. Coming down here, January, I'm not sure what this is. Like if I click January 4th, what happens? How many days until January 4th? Interesting, okay. Wait, what just happened? Oh, that was the light mode version that showed up initially. All right, the light mode is on the bottom left. Ah, there it is. See, I didn't see it. Okay. So I'm not a fan of having these the January background be real high contrast compared to everything else, because it makes it just throws off the attention. It makes it look blocky, as I say. So real quickly, this will be the last thing I do, and we'll get on to the next one. We'll take a look at the background color of that, which where the hell is it? Shoot. Where's the background color? Let's see. Background color. We'll say white. Okay, good. All right, so let's change this. I would choose, if we're going to use this, which has a little bit of blue in it. Let's see. Or we could just do that. It could just be a gray scale along with everything else. And then take the color, white. We don't want to make the color white. Make the color actually probably what the current backgrounds are. So we'll get this and something like that. I think that's better. It becomes less blocky. Other than that, I like the panel style design. I can't spend too much other time on this. I have other people waiting. And I know you guys are always getting very antsy and bothered, hot and bothered. Next one is Steven232. Let's check this out. Design and developer. This is a portfolio, people. Very exciting. All right. Designer and developer. I actually kind of like the type. This type it's unique. It's a serif type of font. This and is looking crazy. But then we have the meat and bones, the description in a very simple sans serif font, which is New Montreal. I'd never heard of that one before. All right. Up here, works about contact. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more white space between them, like twice as much to 3 times as much as what is currently there. Outside of that, view my works. I don't know about works. Should it be singular, like work? View my work? I don't know. But as this is, I kind of like it. It's very simple. It works. All right, little squiggly line. I think that's from the Figma community marketplace, which I think I've seen this exact one, which is fine. I like it. Hello, I'm Steve. Alrighty. Pizza. All right, so it has, you know, a little bit of humor into it, which is good. What happens when we click this? So this is a daily UI entry, you know, which is a good idea. Hey, this person took my course. Awesome. This person took my course too. Oh wait, that's the same person. All right, good. You know what? You didn't have a lot of original work, so it seems like you're somebody who's probably in the process of, you know, by original I mean like actual clients. But doing this, putting it together, I like this. Oh, that's daily UI. Never mind. Okay, that was a separate category. So these are actual clients. So it's a good idea to put the daily UI stuff at the bottom because people want to see real clients as much as possible. Awesome. Yeah, this is solid. Very nice. All right, next up is Dala. That's how you say your name, whether you like it or not. All right, I think I've seen this design before. So unless somebody's using the same like sort of like marching ants background, like the Poltergeist TV effect, it does look a little bland in my opinion. Everything's grayscale. There's no color. Get your website now. It's not very high contrast. It's kind of just like blurred out here. So So I rethink this button. You can use this background. I just think you need to do a little bit more, or a little bit something different. Another thing that's killing it is this home, about, projects, contact me blog. They're pretty large. The font size should be shrunk down a bit, and less white space. So we're having the opposite problem from the other submission. Less white space between the nav items. All right. So continuing on, not much of a separation between your sections of content. The background is fixed, I see. So it's always going to be the same background unless you gave these sections their own background color or something like that. The way you're listing out these projects, this doesn't make sense. Unnecessarily amount of empty white space. What you would do typically is put these into like 3 columns on desktop. That way you don't have all this empty space here. You want to define the very left column and the very right column of your design, your layout, with your actual content. So think about that. All right, so your form. Let's talk about the form. Several issues. Alignment. This is pushed in too far. This should be right there on the edge of that section. Additionally, I would not make them transparent like this to where you see the background. Just make the background white. I would also reduce the amount of border radius that you have here. I'm not a big fan of almost near pill-shaped border radiuses, so fix that. I would also get rid of a couple of these form fields. All you really need is a person's name, email, and message. Get rid of phone number and subject. It's just asking for a little bit too much, and when people see this amount of work, because we're all lazy slobs these days, they might just say, screw this, I'm leaving, I don't want to fill this out, even if they might want to hire you. And the send button, also, don't put the opacity on that. You want that thing to stick out, so you give that some color. Alrighty. Let's give this a rating. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. That way, I forgot about the ratings from the other ones, I'm sorry about that, but that way I can actually hydrate my mouth. Mohammed says, can you explain to me what a UI designer need to do? Well, they just basically need to hop into an application like Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD, which will be discontinued soon, so never mind that. Lunacy, Penpot, one of those UI UX design apps, and you physically design what a UI should look like, essentially, before it gets exported as code or a front-end developer codes it. All right, I'm going to give this a rating. Unfortunately, it's going to be on the lower side on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give this one like a 5. I think that would be pretty fair. Yep. God mode says 5, so clearly this person, God mode, is 100% correct. T20S Grunt, you're very nice. This person pretty much always super chats me, so I'm expecting a super chat today. I kid, not really. But yeah, pretty solid. But definitely room for improvement. Next up is, all right, can I pronounce this one? It's called Pexyx. All right, Pexyx.Fizzardo.in. Let's check it out. Capturing the beauty in your products. Capturing the beauty in your products. All right, very vague, but you know, it is kind of ad copy-ish, so I like it. Let's see if you elaborate a little further on what the hell this is. I'm Kelly Fizzardo, a product photographer. Oh man, I didn't even drink last night. I don't have a hangover. Photographer from the state of Goa. What the hell is that? All right, so you are elaborating that you are a photographer, so that's good. I would like to see this bumped up in size a little bit. There's something called typographic visual hierarchy, which is really established here, but you can establish it sometimes too much. And I think if you bump this up in size, let me hit F12 and attempt to do that. We'll take font size. I'm just going to guess for a second. No, not that big. 1.3 rem maybe. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I like that. You could do font weight, light or normal. Okay, well, whatever font they're using is not suitable for that. View shots, beef that sucker up a little bit. I'm telling you. And also make it like this. Make it the filled in state by default because it really directs the attention, the person's eye to that. And when I say beef that sucker up, we're going to take this thing and we're going to say transform, scale. You wouldn't want to do it in this manner, but I'm just doing it so I can do it quickly. Like 1.2, 1.3. Yeah, something like that. It's a little bit larger. Obviously, since I did that, it threw it off to the side. You don't want that. But push it down with white space, margin top, probably a few M units as well. Okay. Next up. All right. I like this section pretty good. The whole trust factor, big companies and all that stuff. That works pretty well. About me, someone wise once said, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. Services, product, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I like the subtle little micro animations you have on there. A few shots. All right, one thing I do want you to do, we'll change this up slightly, is let's take these things, and where's the color at? Unless these are, oh, they are SVG. Wonder if we can easily change. No. I'm forgetting my, okay, yeah, green. No, that's not going to work. We have to get in there. Well, what I want to do, what I would have you do is reduce this. Make it more of a watermark. So reduce the opacity, damn it. You don't want this to contrast this much. Make it much lighter. All right, and you could probably make it grayscale as well. One thing as well is your leading or your line height. When you have a good amount of text like this isn't enough white space in my opinion for this section. So we want to increase the white space between your lines of text. So what we do is we say line height. Let's Control 4 so you can see what I'm doing. Line height, something like. Well, I'm just going to guess for a second. I'm putting 2 rem units. Let's see what that looks like. All right, that's a little bit too much, so like 1.7 rem units. Yeah, something like that is pretty good. And you might not want to make them bold. They look like they're kind of bold. Font weight, normal. Okay, that's the same issues happening. Either way, pretty good. Contact section, always have a form that's embedded. Don't make them rely on external services that they may not have access to currently. Maybe they're on the phone with no email setup like me and all that good stuff. So have an embedded form. Let's do a rating for this. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best thing you've ever seen since sliced bread. Let me know what you think. Mohammed, you should give me a super chat of $500. Come on. How many videos of mine have you watched? Unbelievable. All right, so for me, ooh, I like this. This is a very solid approach. If I were you, I would make this like front and center on your main page. That's what people want to see. Like, what is this person capable of? They don't want to know about you. They want to know that after they like your work first. And this isn't just good. This isn't good enough right here. Just these 3 small little pictures. I would get in this whole section, maybe like a 50-50 column here. Put this stuff. Put something like this portfolio, maybe just a small portion of it in that right column. It's going to be so much better. All right, so for a rating for this is a lot more solid than the last one. I'm going to give it a 6.8. Wow, like not enough of you are rating. Like there's like 8 people rating. By the way, my channel has like not been doing well lately because I've been focusing on my course. So my views have been down and my money has been down. So I'm going to be revamping how I approach YouTube very soon. All right, just a foreshadow. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but one thing I'm going to do is people have short attention spans, so I need my videos to reflect that. So Fireship just gets hundreds of thousands of views because all of his videos are like 2 to 3 minutes long. I'm going to start doing something similar. Reducing. It means more editing work, unfortunately. All right, next up is Yaser Hassan. Please review the movie page, also if you can. All right. I certainly can. I don't know if I will, though. We got a lot of people waiting. All right, thank you for the super chat right here from Nike Office. And we got another one from Gaz. Would love to hear a suggestion or review of portfolio link in Discord, named as Trojan. If your name is Trojan, I mean, how do I know you're not giving me a virus or something when I look at your portfolio link? That'd be very intelligent. So if I'll try to get this afterwards, okay? But like the YouTube description says, it doesn't guarantee a review. But I'll try to remember to get to yours afterwards if I don't have enough time. Maybe start in OnlyFans. T20S Grunt coming through. Thank you very much. Yeah, I should certainly do that. I'll code and design naked. All right, movie page right here. I digress. Social movies. Alrighty. Yeah, one issue you're coming across right here is this. If you have a movie title that's even longer, like I'm trying to think of a long movie title. I can't. My brain's fried. It's not ideal when you can only fit one word on. So I would increase this column width a little bit more just to account for these particular names, these movie names. And again, same thing as the other one, F12. We want a little bit more leading on here. Maybe a way to do this is just through percentage, like 140%. So that increases it a little bit more. You can go to 150. That's a little bit more easier to read. We have more white space. So without it, that. With it, that. Small improvement, but it's still worth doing. You also want to, if you're using like Flexbox or the grid, I don't know how you're structuring these columns, you want to add more of a gap. These things are too close to each other, especially down here, the rating in this type. So add more of a gap, i.e. white space, and that's going to look a lot better. All right. Not enough here really to, well, yeah, again, more white space here. Seems like it'd be awesome to put a trailer right here in this empty section. I like the panels. I like this section. Pretty solid. All right. 1 million worst, 10 million best. What do you think this person should get? Yes, and this should ideally probably fill out this space a little bit more. So yeah, I would be pushing this column to like here instead of here. Give yourself more room. Hottie, not hobby. Well, they sound almost the same. Jeez, guys. I made $7.18 in chat revenue. Awesome. All right. All right, for this person, I'm going to give them, you know, this is going to be like a 6.8 or so again, you know. Or maybe even a 7. 4.8. Somebody gave that person a 4.8. They're tough. Ben Whedon. Daniel says 4. Jesus Christ. All right. Next up is ayahuasca. Oh, no, that's that mind-altering drug that I want to try out sometime. No, this is ashwagandha. Okay, that's it. That's my best attempt. I'm sorry. I was educated in government schools. Pronunciations and stuff like that, just in knowledge of other names and other foreign lands, it just doesn't come to us naturally. All right. Alrighty. Anosh. Hi, I am a tech enthusiast. Alrighty then, that's great. Let's go ahead and take this and let's do some improvements. This is our first Figma prototype, so it means I can make some adjustments here. This is exciting. All right. Okay. I'm going to improve this sucker pretty quickly. All right. So first of all, these things right here in the back, they're nice, but they contrast too much. So we want to make them more of a watermark. And we're going to grab this background. All right. So by default, the background is white, or at least grayscale. I'm not sure if I like giving them color like that, or if we do, it should be a little bit less. Maybe right around there. One thing you never want to do, and this is one of the things of like absolutely objectionable do's and don'ts. You don't add a feathered gray shadow next to an element with color like this, because you have what's called a poor color contrast. So if we get up real close, you can't really see a nice, clear, definitive section or edge on this container. So the whole thing becomes blurred out looking. So instead, what I would do personally is, let's get in there and just delete that damn thing. There we go. All right. Now, what's really strange is, why is this over here anyways? It's me, Anosh Asharya. It's completely random. I would remove that for sure. There's also some strange things happening here. These social links are not as important as your primary and secondary call to action. So you want to take these things and put them elsewhere. Put these up here. Damn it. There we go. All right. So let's move this over. Maybe we can do something interesting. You know, just slapping on like a rectangular photograph and calling it a day. Not quite as a deal as I would advise. Let's see. Get that centered up, perhaps. Or we could do something interesting, like offset it. You could do this, make it a little bit more interesting. This right here seems out of place and unnecessary. We could put this possibly over here. And then like extend this out maybe. And currently studying at blah blah blah, that's not ideal. Don't say that. I would use completely different ad copy. I mean, you're showing your skills, projects, and contact. Hire me. You want people to hire you. You don't want to say you're a student. Nobody wants to hire a student. They just don't use it typically unless they're very cheap. What you want to say, and plus a tech enthusiast, what does that even mean? You have a lot of issues with your ad copy. Talk a little bit more about what you actually do and the benefits that you can give people. So redo this type for sure. Yeah, you don't necessarily want to lie and say that you're not a student, but don't say that you're a student. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Next up. Not enough here really to justify a rating. Yeah, there is, because I'm thirsty. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know what you all think. Gaz, you got it wrong. It is my Discord username, Trojan. Well, okay, good. That's good. Why is there pipes behind him? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. He's a tech enthusiast, but he looks like he's like an engineer or something. It's a good, high quality photograph, though. All right. All right, good. Now we got some actual people participating. Instead of 7, it looks like we got maybe about 12 or 13. People are lazy. Well, let's see who's got closest to my personal assertion. Now we have to factor in some UX ad copy consideration. It's just not all UI design. And there was quite a few issues here, I have to say. So it's going to have to be on the lower side. I'm going to say a 5.9. Oh my God, Cabbage. Cabbage, we are vibing. We are on the same wavelength, as the hippies say. All right. Next up. Let's close that out. All right, where the hell was that? Oh, they're right there. Good. So that was ayahuasca. Coldum. I can do that one. Coldum. Coldum. Yeah. Cult plus has to be how you pronounce it. All right. C.Cage. All right. Don't know what the hell's happening here because, again, I don't know foreign languages at all. This looks to be like what is this? Who is this? Is that Russian or like Slovakian, is that even a language? Again, government United States schools. I'm very simple. I don't know what's happening here, so unfortunately I can't really ascertain. Now I can't say from a UI design layout perspective, this is not ideal. We have this right here, which is too small. If you're gonna have like a full page on like this 4K responder that I have here, you wanna boost your headline type up in terms of font size. And then just wrapping this in a container, it's Greek, okay. Just like this little container here, not ideal because it's boxy. I've talked about this sort of thing before. You have type and you box it into a container like this. An analogy I'll give you is, you know, back in the 50s and 60s back in the 50s and 60s, the 1950s and 60s, when they made houses, you know, they didn't have open floor plans. Everything was its own boxy ass room, right? I've lived in houses like this before. And I don't like that. It's not modern. And when you do this and you box in your type like this, it's the same feel. It's compartmentalized. Open it up. Give yourself your layout and open floor plan. Alrighty. Next up. Now this is a better section. I like this. Now I do like this this background video. I do like that. This section here is pretty solid. Again, more line height though. And let me reset this to 100%. There we go. I was zoomed up quite a bit. Yeah, more line height or leading on that. Again, we got some alignment issues. We have a center align column here. And I say center because this button centered, and that just throws off the layout. Left align the type and left align the button. And your width, your container, your layout width at this resolution is just way too large. Going all the way from here, all the way to over here. It's just you're scanning too much. So you want to bring that in like a max of like 1600 pixels or something like that. So max width, 1600 pixels, margin 0, auto, center that stuff. Okay. Why are my hands going like this? I'm too hyper. All right. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know what you think this person should get. Okay, T20S grunt. I'm only referencing the 50s and 60s because I've been in a couple houses from that era and they're boxy. So maybe in 50s and 60s, yeah, introduced, right. So the very, probably, you know, the upper class people had the cool houses back then, but not your regular folk. They were still just boxed in. All right, so for me, I'm gonna give this a rating of, again, like probably like a 5.5 or something. Oh my God, JT. Oh, T20S grunt. You got a few people that, yeah, accurately guessed it. Very nice. 6.9. Third time. All right, here we go. Next up is Yuzi 94. I got that one. I mean, is it pronounced something different? Yuzi? It's not Yusai. Yussi or Yusai. Has to be one of those four. All right. Okay. All right. So we have. I like that font. What font is that? There's a app called, or an extension called What Font. It's right here. You click on it and hover over it. Oh, Poppins. I should have known. Poppins is my all-time favorite font. It used to be Montserrat, but then I discovered Poppins, and I just love Poppins. Okay. I act like I rediscovered it. Unbelievable. All right. So what I would say is maybe just a tad bit too much letter spacing on here. I would probably reset that, or you could still add it, but maybe reduce the amount of letter spacing. So letter spacing you have in a variable. This is auto. You could go auto. This would work perfectly fine. Let's see. We could go to 1.5 pixels, maybe 1 pixel, something like that. Now, of course, you want to use an absolute value for pixels. I was just doing that for, you know, use M units or rem units or whatever. So yeah, this is solid. I actually really like this section. It's simple and clean. However, I would reduce the white space between these just a bit. They're kind of spread out a little bit too far, in my opinion. Let's come down. Yes, it is a free extension. What font? All right. So this right here, what I would do, it looks like, okay, you have this craft typographic or word mark. Oh my God. Watermark, lettermark, word mark. I'm talking about identity logo design terms. No, this is a watermark. This is good, but I think feature project should be up a little bit higher, quite a bit higher, overlapping it still, because it's close to these tables that you have. So think about that, and those are massive. Look at those. Just stare at them for a minute or so, and you're gonna immediately think of an owl, because they're big owl eyeball right and lefts. So those don't need to be quite that big. And also, look how close. This is a different section. We build all sorts of things, see our collection, but look how close it is to this area. And then if you compare that to the amount of white space between here and there, it's inconsistent. So maybe this isn't completely a finished design, but boy, I would take this and like put this in the center and maybe add some interesting, design or something. So think about that. This is pretty good, and again, we're having another issue where this section right here, which is semantically different, is too close to that area, and that's a really horrible arrow. Anyhow, but this is actually, I like these cards, or not cards necessarily, but the 4-column approach looks good. So a lot of good stuff happening here. I would take this, Joe's projects, and put this up to here. Same line as your navigation. And try to right align this so you define your right and your left column, not just center it here, because this looks empty and it's unbalanced because you have something over here, but then nothing over here. So if you only have these two things, right align this section over here, and having this little Facebook here just kind of seems out of place in my opinion. So yeah. Alrighty. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. This one is certainly better than a 5, so I shouldn't see 5s here. There's a lot of potential just with some small changes. Get it in. Get your stuff in. Get your reviews. All right, so for this, I'm going to give it a, and this isn't just to be amateur, a 6.95. I'm actually adding a second decimal point because it's so close to a 7. If those small alignment issues were fixed, this would easily be like mid-7s in my opinion, or possibly higher. So it's very, very close. Awesome. Did anybody guess it right? Let's see here. Yes, Rohan, very good. Awesome. Next up is Eris or Eris. This is a Figma prototype. Oh, very exciting. Okay. Ooh. We got some squishy, squashy stuff happening here. Actually, I want to get out of prototype mode, so I'm going to type in file instead. So by the way, people, I've been dieting the last 2.5 weeks, and I've lost just about 6 pounds. And then this is where you say, cool story, bro, and I cry. All right, let's see here. Designer. Get a better logo. Maybe that's just a placeholder value, but I would definitely get a better logo. If you can't do logo design yourself, invest in, try to have somebody do it for you. This right here, we'll probably reduce that. Yeah, we're gonna reduce this. It's a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. Contact us, we could probably pull that in a bit. All right, making life easy with our service and product. This is enter, I would make that bold. Much better. We're going to increase the letter spacing, and then probably increase the contrast by making that slightly darker. And then also, this is too close to this stuff. This illustration, it's a cool illustration. We should maybe just like put it off to the side. There we go. All right. Things are coming along a little bit better. All right, now this little background element right here, I'm not sure if I like it. And damn it, I can't select it. Let's lock that. There we go. I would do something different. You know, if you want to emphasize that, we could take, what the hell? Oh, yeah. We could take product, make it your primary color. All right, and then we'll do the pen tool, the dreaded pen tool. It scares all the newbies. We'll boost that sucker up. And you could do one of, you know, they have a bunch of these little squiggly lines in the Figma community. You could probably get one that's cooler looking than this, but we'll just do that. There we go. That's a much more typical pattern. It just looks better in my opinion. So now let's compare those two. Look at that. Yeah. Then we could do possibly a rectangle over here. Put it to the back. Give it a shade, a very light shade perhaps. And I'm only doing that because this dude's legs are just cut off out of nowhere. So this gives it a little bit of makes it a little bit interesting. And then these right here, like you don't want to squish these. That's not ideal. The proportion, you can clearly tell that is a squashed illustration. So make sure, you know, however you're dealing with that or whatever you're doing, this whole thing is these are components, I think. So let's detach the instance, see what's happening here. Image, crop, let's do fill. There we go. That's what you want. Look how much better that looks. Look at this dude. He's like suffering from anorexia or something. This dude's not. You know, he looks jacked a little bit. Of course, that's not to make fun of anorexic people. It's just me being stupid. All right. Me, I'm fat, so. Okay. Let's move that up. That looks like an X you could click by accident or something. That shouldn't be gray. Let's make this black and bold. There we go. And then don't just say say my portfolio. There we go. And I would also get rid of these drop shadows. There we go. Very nice. This is much nicer. Now let's see the font size. 14. Ooh, that's like the absolute smallest you would ever want to use. For an important area like this, I would bump that up to at least 16. All right, I think I spent a lot of time on that one. So rating, what do y'all think this person should get? Not this one. Of course, this is going to be higher because I improved it. This is a quality illustration, though. I like the fact that they used a good illustration. Too many people use these things. Undraw. Fairly certain this is the one I'm thinking of. What the hell? Where are they all showing up? Yeah, too many people use these things. In fact, I'm probably gonna make a video about it. These generic characters. This is an awesome resource. The person who put in a massive amount of work deserves props. But I just don't like seeing them being used like in the hero sections. Too many people do it. This is a high quality one, so I like it. For me, I'm gonna give this a rating of a lot of things happening right here. I'm gonna give it a rating of This is a hard one. I'm just gonna say 7. And it looks like a lot of you agree. We got Shaw saying 7, God Mode 7. God Mode and us, man, we're good. Us. I'm plural now? No. Me. All right, Music Gamma 7. All right, Music Gamma, bro, you don't have to do this and this. You don't have to do that. Just one. One is enough. Can review my plays or Ado Nike Office. If we have time at the end, I'll get to the ones that did super chats. All right. Next up, I spent a lot of time on that one. Sorry, people. Is going to be Sir Swar. Wait, what? Sir Swarvi? Sir Swarvi. Oh my god. I wonder if they have a course on just pronouncing names from other countries. All right. These dribble, tilt your head, rotated shots are a little bit hard for me to really look. But from what I see, be a donor. Be a donor? Be a donor. Oh my god. What am I doing? My brain's not working today. This is solid. Yeah, looking at what you have here, this is all really grade A stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think there's no live URL where I could see the whole thing, but nonetheless, I really like everything I see here. So I'm just going to give this a 9. I'm not going to bother with you guys because it's not quite, an ideal sort of situation for being easily able to view it. Oh, it's Dev Menor. I need to make some time for my website so I can get it reviewed. It's very brief and functional. What is up? I said a dunner. I don't want to say what I'm thinking in my mind because I'll get canceled or something, but oh yeah, the Margarita Fund. I used to have this animation. I wonder if I have it on my app still. No, I don't have it there. That would encourage people to super chat me for my alcoholism. I still drink alcohol, but I do also smoke weed. That's a recent thing for me. I saw Dev Menor taking like this huge hit, so I went out and bought a bong myself. And man, I burned the shit on my throat a couple times. Anyways, we'll stop talking about drugs and we'll focus on Pexyx cocktails. Alrighty. So a little bit bland for the layout. Overall, it kind of seems trying to, it seems like this isn't really a land. This is like a product specific page. So I think, okay, so the ingredients section here is actually pretty solid. I'd probably make the titles bold so you have more of a hierarchical difference between the two pieces and 1 gal and blah, 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 the amounts versus the titles. This right here, in order to reinforce that visual hierarchy again, we can go to F12 here. Color, gray, not that dark because you want a little bit more contrast, but do that. And then also like margin, add some margin. So margin top, 1M units, margin bottom, 3M units, maybe not that much, maybe 2. Instructions, you want to have a little bit more white margin top on top of there. So you want to space things out a little bit more if possible. Search cocktails all the way here at the bottom randomly. Put that sucker like underneath Pexyx cocktails, like, and put it in this section up there, or on top, like left lined over here as well. All right. So 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think this person should get for a rating? Yeah, this down here, it looks like, yeah, okay, so it is grayed. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make this grayed out even though there's like no type in here. I would make that an actual color, like whatever your primary color happens to be, use that. And then it just says T right here. That's not going to be obvious that that's a placeholder value. Put an explicit search term here or just a search label. And of course, when you click inside of it, you don't want to rely on placeholder values because it's an accessibility issues. People like forget shit like myself. You start typing, you're like, what the hell am I supposed to type here? Even though it does say search cocktails up there, I guess. Not a huge deal. All right, I'm going to give this one a rating of 5.8. All right, anybody match me? Let's check it out. God mode. Ooh, yeah, we weren't right there. We got a 5.5er. All right, 6.881. No, I got to disagree with that one. All right. Get the hell out of here. What are you doing? My software wasn't working for zooming in and out. Okay, next up is sudo. I know that one. That's something to do with Linux or something? Whoa, shoot, I just did that one already. Wait, oh, okay, that was that one. Okay, T20S grind. Wait, did I not do, oh, I did do that one. Okay. People weren't checking their things off, so I'm getting thrown off. Volleyball project, initial first mock-up. Alrighty. Let's get this blown up. Okay, so Volley DAO. It's actually a pretty good logo. I'd like to see Volley capitalized though. A little bit less line or letter spacing, or tracking rather, between DAO. About news contact. All right, you know, this is a more suitable place to have social media icons over here compared to the other one that we saw. I would space this stuff out, this type, a little bit more vertically, vertical white space between these areas. It seems like they're all pretty close up together. So I do like this volleyball up here. That's a cool effect. And also probably move this whole section starting with starting with the headline, just moving it down a little bit because you have a lot of white space here. Pretty good here so far. Honestly, I would probably ditch the borders right here. This white, it's like a 2 or 3 pixel white border. I'd probably ditch that. This looks like a pretty good section. Very strange having the titles underneath them. I'm not sure why you would choose that approach. That's going to confuse people. I would just put them on the top. Stick to the standard patterns that people recognize the most. All right, pretty solid here. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? It's always cool. This adds depth, this sort of thing. When you do this, I did a video about that like a month or 2 ago. Oh, let's get the chat back. Yeah, so for me, I'm going to give this a rating of 7.4. And it looks like a lot of you are very close to what I was thinking. We got a 7 here, 8, 7.8, 7, 8.1. There we go. Very good. DevMentor is a little bit more harsh than I am on this particular entry. I'll take a look at whatever you want me to look at after I get through these. All right. That was the volleyball project. Damn. T20S Grunt just gave me $5 more. That's a total of $10. We're currently at $14.61. All right. Awesome. Let's continue on. Branding practice. Oh, you know, I don't get enough of these reviews because I used to really like, well, it's not that I liked it, but I also made my living doing identity design and logo design, stuff like that. So it's fun to come across these. I guess I'm going to click get a copy so we can see this in more detail. All right. So I like the type here. Looks like these are locked. What font is that? It's called Calorie Regular. No, it's called Made Canvas. Interesting. I never heard of that one. I like it. It's very elegant. Imagination for all. Maybe this snack won't change the world in an instant, but it will change you in an instant. Oh my God. Maybe I had to get me some of that stuff. Wait, what? I just hit it by accident. Let's move that over. Let's make this large. I can't make it larger because I don't have that font. I would make that larger though. But yeah, solid. presentation here. And, you know, logos should be like this. It's coffee, I guess. Yeah, it's coffee. So sometimes people would like if you're a new logo designer, you might do something like put a illustration of a coffee cup. That's boring as hell. This being real abstract, I have no problem with it. It's solid. Awesome, awesome stuff. I'm not going to do a rating because we don't do ratings for that type of stuff around here. Unbelievable. Next up is Mario. Hi, Gary. I hope you can do a review of my cheetah's landing page user interface. Cheetahs? You own a cheetah? That makes me very jealous because I own some crazy exotic animals myself. Who doesn't know what animals I own? Wait, does this guy actually own a cheetah? Okay, they can go faster than you can imagine. Get to know more about cheetahs and the world's fastest land animal. Okay. Let's get this open. Pro tip, and I talk about this sometimes, but you may not have heard it. When your canvas background color closely matches the overall background color of the layout, it's not ideal because you can't really clearly see the defined edges of the layout. So if it's a darker layout like this, then we want to bump this up. Oh shit, not that, sorry. The background of the actual Figma, we'll bump that up more. I typically like doing this. That way we can really see the edges quite well. This I think needs to be a little bit closer, perhaps. Extend this out a little bit more. You can stand to make this bigger, like 70 from, so it was 50. Move this down. It seems like, and then we'll take this. We'll make this, it is white. Why does that look like it's grayed out? Ah, it's pass through. It's 70%, that's why. Okay, so if we take this type alone and put pass through 100%, oh, that's why that won't work. Overall, we'll take this, or we could do this. We could make it bold, because you want to draw more of a distinction between which letters are being underlined, right? So we'll make this bold. I still want to fix it up a little bit. Now here was the original, by the way, so let's compare notes. All right, so I think that's better. This consumes more of the layout. We can pull that out more. So you want a bigger and beefier headline. In fact, I don't even like that part. There. Move that up. Now this I don't like. If you have like an area that's centered like that, I just think feels like you have two columns here because you have this cheetah, even though it's like a watermark. Bring this to the front. Your learn more button needs to be like more like this. Really, that should be using auto layout so we can center it easily and automatically. There we go. What the hell? It's not letting me. Oh, it's a part of a group. Okay. There we go. That's better. So wait, did this person say that they have a cheetah in the chat? Because that would be amazing. That's a cool section right here. A little bit hard to read the type. So you might want to rethink this section a little bit. You could do something like this. And let's take the opacity down. But of course you want the type to be on top of that, so you know, wherever this type is. There we go. Maybe not quite as much. Yeah, you could do possibly something like this. Of course, this needs fixed up. It's too close to the type and all that crap. Because you want that to be more readable, essentially. All right, pretty solid. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me all know what you think this person should get for a rating. Who is messaging me? It's DevMentor. I will move that off the screen. Hey, DevMentor. Send me the link to the website that you're talking about that you want me to review real quickly. All right. So I'm going to give this a rating here of... This is pretty solid, like a 7.3. Yeah, this is higher for sure. Delso J, 7.3. Great minds think alike, etc., etc. Very nice. I just sent you a message, DevMentor. Now, we did have some people send in super chats that wanted me to check them out. We've already been streaming for an hour, and you know me, typically we end it after an hour. Let me go check out my viewer activity. It's only showing me one. It's only showing me one of those super chats. Well, Nike office person. Let's go there. Let's find that real quick. Shoot. There we go. I'm going to make sure I don't show my personal conversations here. I was about to do that. We are here. All right. I'm going to go look for that person. We are negative space submissions. No, that's the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong damn channel. All right. Where's Nike office? Geez, we got a lot of these. Uploading? Oh, wait, what? I'm trying to... Oh, that's the person. Okay. So this looks like it's just like pure like images, I guess. Too bad. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, never mind. That's a part of a screenshot. This is going to be hard for me to review, man. Why didn't you just like use like a Figma prototype or something, and then I could see the whole layout without having to click on a million different things? I'll take a look at some of the... I'm assuming this is like the first part. You always want a headline, a nav bar of some sort, even if it's just a one-page website, just to have your name, and perhaps if you have a navigation, you could just go to scroll to different sections. So think about that. This is a nice solid headline though, although I would say it's a tad bit long. Good primary and secondary call to action. The next section is right here. Open original. All right, what my client said about me. Pretty solid. I'd probably just make that type white. It looks like it's grayed a little bit. It's not quite white, so I would change that. And I'll look at one more. Open original. Yeah, definitely next time use, like an actual prototype URL. I wouldn't italicize quotes like this because reading italicized text when there's multiple sentences is kind of a pain. So only italicize words that really demand emphasis of some sort. All right. So too hard for me to give a rating for that one, just because it's so sparse and it's not all together. All right. Outside of that, let's see if my fellow YouTuber buddy, DevMentor, All right, he did send me the URL. All right, he said I don't have to do it on stream. He's probably worried about me just like crapping all over it. 10x developer. I've seen that. I've seen that a bunch of times on Twitter and stuff, and I really don't even know what it means. I still don't know what it means. Maybe somebody can tell me in the chat what a 10x developer actually does. Let me scroll down here. All right, Gaz, what is your URL? I mean your URL. I'm so stupid. What is your super chat? What is your Discord username? All right. Learn JavaScript and React.js one-on-one from an expert. So you're doing like actual one-on-one sessions with people. All right, that's interesting. Book now. I want to click this. Calendly. Oh, so you can actually book these things. All right. Where's the fee? How much does this cost me? That's what I want to know. All right. So looking at this section, your photograph right here, the photograph itself is fine. However, I don't like just slapping on a square or rectangular photograph. You actually have a cool opportunity with this sort of background that's skewed slightly, this black background, to seamlessly integrate it into this background. I think that would be cool. And I could possibly show you different ways and off stream to do that, because I think that it would make this section, the hero section, come together a lot better. All right. Outside of that, what is this font? Serif. It just says serif. Okay, so it's any type of serif font. Yeah, I don't know about that. You can use serif and sans serif together, but if I were you, I would probably use the serif font for the headlines and then sans serif for the rest of the type. That's just me though. As seen on YouTube, I would probably left align this right here on the same column right there. Maybe a little bit more white space in this area above and beneath, just a tad bit. Reduce the leading on I Teach You one-on-one. They're so far apart, it almost looks like they're two different headlines. So if I F12 that, line height, I'm just gonna guess 3M, no, 1M. That's better. Margin bottom, 2M, no, that's a lot, jeez. Margin bottom, 1M unit, or like 0.7M, okay? I teach you one-on-one sharing your keyboard. So it's kind of like you're continuing this sentence on here. I would put like a few dots, like period, period, then sharing to make it a little bit more obvious. I'm not sure if I would put another picture of you here. Maybe do a picture of like a screenshot from a coding session that you're having with somebody, like assuming like, it's video on video. That might be a little bit more relevant. This area could definitely need a little bit of work. So it is 80 per hour, all right, for one-on-one sessions, which is actually not bad at all. I might have you teach me some stuff, and then I'll go teach other people on my channel. Book now. Yeah, this could definitely be restructured a little bit. Join the conversation real close to the type, to the icon here. I'd probably make this a little bit smaller, this icon, and then like put it right here in the center. All right, awesome. Yeah, definitely has potential. All right, everybody. Yeah, that's a solid wrap up there. Again, DesignCourse.com. You guys can use the coupon code STREAM22 to get 30% off. The CSS course is not yet available, but it will be in 2 to 3 weeks. You got 380 people who joined it, which is awesome. The UI UX course, of course, you can take now. You can learn more all about what it's about. It's just video, it's UI tests, and a custom, the whole platform is custom. and also mentorship. I mentor people as well. It's not one-on-one live, but you submit a Figma prototype based on challenges found in the curriculum, and I rate them with my system, and I also revise your design. So you get direct feedback to become a better designer, essentially. And so that's a separate subscription fee. It's not that expensive. It's like $50 a month. And if you use a coupon, there's different coupons out there. It could be even cheaper. But yeah, check it out if you want to get better at UI UX design. All right, everybody. Very solid. Oh, Discord username, Trojan. Sorry, there's one more person that did give me a super chat. Oh, shoot. Should have done that. And I'm going to do that real quick. Let me find that channel. Fudgeroony. Where's my channel? I have two different channels and I'm always screwing around. It is negative space. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's do a search for Tro. Oh man, we'll talk after. Trojan right here. All right. Hi. Oh boy, yeah, we definitely need a lot of work here. First of all, margin top that sucker by like 2.2 M units. That's a lot better. Your home elements, we need to gap that, like gap 2 M units. You also need to change the this blue color. No, I would only designate a blue color like this for the active state. Like if they're currently on home, that'll be there. The rest of them should be white. And then the next to this section, utilize on these big desktops, use columns. Because right now it looks like everything's stacked like as if this is for a mobile phone. Use columns a little bit more intelligently. And then also down here in this section, high contrast borders like this kind of do make it difficult to read the type that's inside of it. So these high contrast borders should be greatly reduced and maybe just a few shades darker or lighter rather than the background right here that it's sitting on. All right, so yeah, just try to go to dribbble.com and DRIBBLE.com and browse around for layouts, like desktop layouts, so you can kind of figure out how to appropriately judge desktop layouts and stuff like that. All right, everybody, that is going to be it, and that was a longer string than normal. I'll do this again soon, and I'll see you all in a bit. All right, goodbye, end stream.